Hi guys, and happy Thursday to you. So this is going to be another Netflix review of shows I have watched over time. So this one is a really emotional one I'm going to be talking to you guys about, and it's a really good one. If you have not seen The Pieces of a Woman with Shia LaBeouf and Vanessa Kinger, Jimmy Falls, and Izzy. I forgot what it is, but don't know how to say that name. But so if you have not seen that movie, I do recommend seeing it, but also knowing that it's very very emotional, and it's about A Pieces of a Woman talks about a woman going through coping with the loss of her child after birth, and her parents, like her family and her mom, are kind of like pushing onto her, saying that someone else's fault, they had to pay for it, but she, at the end, she didn't think no one was to blame for her child's death. It just happens, and I can't, mostly, but and then I think Shia LaBeouf, you did a great job in this. I think you brought a lot of emotional to this film, like his emotionality and his of character and stuff, and of the character himself. I think went through a lot, and she went through a lot, and I think they did an amazing job with this. And it showed more of a reality of how families that cope with losing a child or can have children, and it helps us realize that there's people out there that can help us learn to move on, or give us guidance to cope with things that we can't cope with. So always remember that. And I do tell people, always know that you're not alone in your emotional or physical or mentally emotional or physical breakdowns. Always know that there's other people around you, and know that to help you. So going through another one that I recently watched, this one, if you have never heard of this guy, then you guys don't even know. Well, honestly, who would know about this guy? This guy's creepy. Do you know who this man is? If you don't, his name is Ramirez, or I think I'm saying it wrong, but technically he's known as the Night Stalker. You never heard of him? Well, so the TV show I just watched was called The Night Stalker, and it's based upon the cops who are, back in the 80s, trying to figure out who is this walking killer. Well, if you have not know him, well, the story talks about where there was a man going into people's houses and he would murder them. Well, or he would actually murder the husband and then assault the wives. And also would assault children if they were there. There also were a lot of child abductions, and they were sexually assaulted, including a lot of other things, to where that it just seemed really, really disturbing. But it came down to where there was a pentagram of satanic, and said that Ramirez was actually a really terrifying monster. Like, he had no remorse for what he did. He had none. And Dorian Scorcase was crazy. Technically, it was like the Ramirez shock show host, because the funny thing about it was that when they captured him, he had a whole fan website because he was so famous. All women would take pictures of themselves, and you would think, like, why in the world would they do that? Why? This is back in the 80s, you guys. This was like he was a celebrity. I'm like, why you treat him as a celebrity, guys? He was a murderer. Like, he killed a lot of people. But also, more about the story about him was that he was basically abused by his father, and he was sexually, I think he was attacked from his family members, and he was kicked out of the house a lot. He just didn't really have any guidance in his life that didn't really help him to void of what he was in his younger years. And so, to me, it was a very sad show. I liked it how the cops find out different details, how they captured him, how they knew it was each victim in each case, and there was the similarities of the same cases and everything. And the cops who went through this, I think they did an amazing job. But I can say that because I think it was really challenging for them to find out who did this, because there was going to be a lot of. So yeah, I do recommend these two shows. I do recommend them highly. They're 100% worth of watching them. If not, just wouldn't buy base. So I'm hoping you guys have a lovely day, and I'm hoping you guys see you again. So bye again.